Hey y'all, welcome to the KGB, the K's Grown and Sexy Book Club. And I really am excited about tonight. This is going to be a really great discussion because I am so excited to have DL White join us tonight. And then I tell you guys, oh, she says she can't hear me.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
there we go. I hear you now.
Maybe other people can't hear me. Okay, I'm sorry. My phone did something.
All right.
Um, okay, Kim573. Let me know if you can hear me because DL says she can hear me
I hear
on
you
the
now.
video. Okay, you hear me? Maybe it was just my headphones. Y'all let Black Readers Con. Y'all let us know if y'all can hear us. Okay, if there's any feedback or whatever, and I'll fix it. Uh, welcome, DL. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh,
Um, I know I seem like a weirdo just going into your DMs today.
no,
So
it's okay. I welcome it. I welcome it.
because let me tell you something, I'm muffled. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop wearing these hairs. Okay, I have to take these off, y'all. Wait a minute.
Okay.
All right, let me Okay, I'm back. Can y'all hear me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. Now, okay, these are trash. Don't buy them. My husband bought.
Are those the Jabra?
I don't know what they are. He out every other, I just want some good old fashioned earbuds from
Yeah, I'm picky about
from
mine too.
Apple, and he always brings me this Droid stuff. Anyway, okay, y'all, we are welcoming DL White. I'm gonna start over. Let me scene. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys, um, I'm so excited because DL, tomorrow, I'm gonna let you know something already. This is a spoiler for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we are doing favorite books of 20 whatever year this is, 2021. And this little gem right here, okay, is the top of, on the top of my list. Okay.
Oh.
And it is because I read Brunch at Ruby's
Hmm.
when you wrote that. And
Hmm.
then I was like, I really want to have her on the KGB. And then time had passed. And then when I saw this come out, I got it and I put it on my TBR. And I was like, okay, because when you have people you really know and you enjoy them, and you're like, okay, well, this will be my break glass book, my emergency read book, because I loved Brunch at Ruby's. And
Oh, thank
if y'all
you.
don't know,
Oh.
Miss Beverly Jenkins said that it was one of the best books she had read. She had read one of her favorite
Yeah.
books, period.
Yeah.
So Brunch at Ruby's was, but I was like, Miss Bev, have you read this one? No. so, so I was like just super, super, like I was in the doctor's office at the gynecologist. Okay, okay, and so I was like, let me just go ahead and start this. Let me read this, and I was so like I read it the whole appointment, and then I was like, it's just so good, and
Oh,
if you love Black romance, if you love a heroine who is like kind of like upwardly mobile people and like career
hmm.
focused people who, and DL is a
Hmm.
career person, like she travels for work or whatever. And
Yeah.
so if you really enjoy that type of story where there's like a little prickliness in the beginning, and let me tell y'all about the beginning, it's such a great hook. I'm gonna let you talk in a minute.
Okay.
But we got Esme here, and oh my God, her cousin is just too much. I love him, and she goes,
I
she's
love
just like,
O'Neill. O'Neill is a
yes,
trip. O'Neill is a trip.
love
He
him.
just came out of nowhere.
And I was like, But don't we all have an O'Neill? I mean, like that is the.
I
I'm
need an
everybody's
O'Neill. I have an
O'Neill.
O'Neill.
I'm like, go out there and live, sis.
Yeah. Just
So,
live your life. Stop letting things scare you and stop you from doing things you want to do.
and that was is so great about this book. Like, okay, let me start back over. Okay, so Esme is like this career woman, and she ain't been on a date for a while, you guys. And so she goes on this blind date. And while she's there, she sees this guy who's really handsome and stuff like that, but he asks for her chair, for the chair at her table. And she's like, listen, I'm waiting on the date. He's like, well, I don't see nobody here. So they get off into a rocky start. Then she leaves. And then, honey, somebody tries to mug her, but it's her date. That was the hook, DL. You can write a hook like nobody's business. Like,
I
the
love
way
hearing
you wrote that, I was like, oh my God. And so Esme, who's already kind of conservative, is like, okay, I'm done.
Time, that's it. I'm done. No more. No.
But then Trey comes to her house. Trey comes to her house. I don't know why my eyes so bloodshot. I didn't even drink today.
You tired?
But maybe I homeschool now. So
it's just the end of the day.
yeah, and you know, it's not the end of my day because we'll get into when you write in a minute. But my day started in an hour because I write at night.
Oh no.
Anyway, so Trey rescues her and then comes and brings her
wallet,
her ID or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then other things happen. We'll talk about it in a minute. But that's the beginning, y'all, and it's so good. Like, this is one of the best. Do yourself a favor, y'all. Go get all DL books because Brunch at Ruby's is phenomenal. This book is so good. It was fantastic. I'm so glad you're here. But for those who don't know, just tell us who you are and what you write other than this phenomenal book right here.
I am DL White. I am an Atlanta-based author. I've lived in Atlanta since 2003. So I don't know if I can say I'm from here, but I've been here.
You're from there if it's been 2003.
I've been here for a long time. I write romantic fiction featuring Black men and women. So I'm all about Black love, Black romance, Black relationships. I want my books to be a soft place to land for Black women. And the reason I started writing Black romance was I kept hearing all these news stories about Black women are unlovable, and Black women, like 47% of Black women will never marry, and Black women are the most unattractive. And it was like hit after hit after hit. And I was like, well, damn. And I wanted to see myself reflected in literature, and I wanted to feel like Black women are loved and Black women are lovable, and there are men out there that don't play about their woman, and there are women out there that don't play about they do. And there's a lot of that out there, but the more that I read, the more that I just got a message that someone said they can't comment on the live. I don't know. Instagram is doing weird stuff.
I see some comments. Well, if they're not following me, they maybe can't comment. So they might
okay.
So
okay. Sorry. I lost my train of thought.
Okay, but you were saying that there are Black women who don't play about their dude. Yeah. And you wanted to show that.
I just had stories in my head, and the more I read, the more that I wanted to write it. And I was writing like novel length fan fiction, and my friends were like, you should really write like fiction. So I thought about it, and a story was coming to mind based on my own brunch group and some things going on in the city of Atlanta, like the Atlanta cheating scandal. Anybody that lives here knows all about the cheating scandal, and that was kind of playing in my mind, like, what if I took that situation and turned it? Like, what if it wasn't the superintendent, but what if it was like a principal that kind of got stuck in a sticky situation, like maybe she was having an affair but she got caught,
Right.
And then it starts the domino effect. It starts to affect her job and her marriage and her child and her friendships, and her life just kind of falls apart. And she's got these friends that are around her, and they're from different areas and walks of life. And what I loved about my brunch group is that we had a professor, and we had an attorney, and we had a banker, and we had an assistant, and we had a personal shopper. We were all like, one lived in Gwinnett, which is like way northeast, and one lived in Cascade, which is like way southwest, and
Mm-hmm.
one lived in Buckhead, which is city center. And but we're all from these different walks of life and different parts of town, but we would all come together once a month for brunch and talk and laugh and joke and commiserate and give advice and get advice. And it was that sisterhood that I really wanted to bring into that book, that found family, that chosen family,
Mm-hmm.
those friends in your life that can tell you the truth. Um, so that's kind of where I started. And like once you write the first book, the rest kind of, I'm like, well, now what?
Right.
Write more books, I guess. I wanted a backlist.
So what
So I
inspired the
started
never
writing.
list then?
I wish I could remember. I started writing the Never List around like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And typically the way that I write is I'll get an idea, and it'll scream at me, scream at me, scream at me. And I start writing, and then I hit a wall, and I have to put it away. I need to let it marinate. I need to
Mm-hmm.
think about it. Sometimes I go back like, okay, I know what's wrong with this. I need to change this, and then I can go forward. And I had started writing, and I had literally had about 8 chapters of it. And I hit a wall, and I put it away. And then
Mm-hmm.
last summer, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Because I
Mm-hmm.
have time. It's the pandemic. I have time. I'm going to pull out one of these things I have sitting in my drafts folder and just put out something fun for the summer. And I picked it back up again. And I was like, oh, I know what's wrong with this. And kind of went back and started completely over using some of the chapters that I had, and spent the summer writing that, rewriting that. It came out in September. I thought it was going to be a cute um, summer story. And I mean, it's a cute summer story, but it wasn't a summer story. So, but I wish I could remember.
Yeah.
I know when I write, I want to write something different. I don't want to write
Mm-hmm.
the same story over and over. I don't want to write the same book. I don't want to read the same book over and over. So I'm like, oh, sometimes I get an idea and I think I already wrote that. This was a different story. Esme is a different kind of heroine.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure that I wanted to, and even if I wrote it, I didn't know if I wanted to release this book because I don't know if you want me to tell like the big hook with Esme. I mean, it's in the
Yeah,
blurb.
but in your
So
own words, yeah, tell us about the book.
the
You don't
thing
have to
about
give
Esme,
the no spoilers, AGA, the
yeah,
whatever spoilers you feel you have, you don't have to share those. But please tell us in your own words, tell us about this book.
yeah. So the thing about Esme is she's 39 years old, and she is a ball of anxiety about the most regular, normal things. She's very accomplished, very successful. She lives her life in books and on Shonda Rhimes' TV shows. She loves her house. Went back and got her degree, but she is just a ball of anxiety about the most everyday, normal things. Um, and she is a virgin. And her cousin O'Neill, who is a flight attendant for Delta, is kind of sick of her shit. And he's like, look, you are too old to have never done certain things like fly in an airplane,
Mm-hmm.
like eat seafood, like swim in the ocean, like have sex. So you need to make a list of things that you have let your fears stop you from doing, and start knocking that thing off. And if you gotta make the due date your 40th birthday, you do that. But you have got to start, knocking some things off and stop letting fear run your life. Start living your life. And she kind of brushes him off at first, but then when she starts to think about it, she's like, you know what, he's right.
Right.
He's right. And so she makes her list, and Trey gets involved. I won't tell you how that all happens, but she does end up getting Trey involved in clearing her list. So
and clearing her list, and I just
clearing the list.
I love them together. I love the way guys, if y'all like a hero who supports the woman, respects the woman, lifts her up, challenges her, you are going to love this book. It was just like you want the person in your life to root for you. And in this book, Trey was rooting for Esme. And
yes.
I just love that. And that's why, to me, it just like, I think it was the right book at the right time for me. And that's why it's one of my favorites of the year. But I just want everybody to read DL books right now, because I'm going to be a DL cheerleader. Like,
I'll take it.
Just because your writing is so pure, and like you write, it was not like, sometimes people get into read African American romance and they think more urban romance, but
yes,
DL it's not like struggle story or anything like that.
No struggle love over
like
here.
If you like for me, if you're my reader and you read Rapper's Delight, you're going to love the Never List, right? Because the guy is all in. You know, Trey has some. He is his own.
He's not a perfect hero,
right? and he got his own foibles and things like that, and you know, because I got mad at him, DL, when he was like doing Missy like that in the beginning, because I was like, she can't help her brain, Trey.
Exactly.
And DL, my brother's name is Trey, and his best friend name is Vincent, girl. So I was so.
Oh my goodness!
Like, and then you put her in the hospital in Birmingham, and you know that's where I'm from, and all I could think about was the Brooklyn Medical Center in Birmingham.
Oh no!
I was like, cause it's a place. What is? I think it's called Brookwood, or what? It's something. Brook something, where where it's a mental health treatment facility.
Yeah.
And I was like, DL just did her homework. She done put out here in Birmingham for him.
Yeah, I try to be as realistic as possible. KWN 537 is in the comments, and I did have her read an early draft of the book. She actually has read every draft of the book, and I had some names that I was gonna make up, but she was like, you know what, you're in Atlanta. Atlanta people gonna read this book. If you don't have something on Peachtree, it is not a book written in Atlanta.
Right.
You know, put something on Peachtree. You can't make up restaurant names. You got to name the names. You can't be making stuff up if your book is in Atlanta. So I really had to go back and add like real names in there, because Atlanta stands up in my comments. Like, this book is so Atlanta.
Yeah. It is so Atlanta. And I don't go to Atlanta a lot, but I was like, I recognize the names because we're just 45 minutes away. And then I'm like, my Birmingham, like when I write my books, you're going to have some Birmingham, because I don't care. We might start out in Malibu because they billionaires, of course, but they're going to come back down to Birmingham.
Right. And I kind of like, I get some of that from Eric Jerome Dickey, because like I was reading the first Gideon book, I can't remember the name of it, but he'd be like, she pulled out on Sepulveda and took a right on Irvine and then took a left. I'm like, Eric, we're not in LA. We don't know what these streets are. And he's like, and then there's a light at this street, and then he took a left. I'm like, dude, you are wasting so much page trying to orient us to Los Angeles. We're not there. We don't know what the streets are. But when you're reading it, like, you see it in your mind.
Yeah,
like, you know, when I'm reading a book that's set in Atlanta and they mention Buckhead or Midtown or East Point, when Tayari Jones says the Kroger on Cascade, I know exactly what Kroger that is because I shop at it. And so always got to inject a little bit of the hometown in there.
This is how, yeah, you know, uh, KWM, let me tell you something. I am excited because I am excited when we get because I connected with the book because, you know about striving and working hard and doing all these things to make your life better. And Trey came from, his father had created this company, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's part of his legacy. So it
Mm-hmm.
means so much to him. And when you said about the thing that really connected with me in the very beginning was when Esme was talking about her purse. Her mom bought her a Louis Vuitton. And
Mm-hmm.
when you get to the place in life where you can buy nice things like that for yourself, or
Yes.
somebody gifts you something like that, no, you're not gonna let a mugger take your bag
No, no,
that your mama
baby.
spent two
No,
grand for, or
no.
whatever like that. Depending on where she got it.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
Trey understood that. He
Mm-hmm.
understood she was not letting that bag go. And also when he found her matching wallet, he brought it right to her because he knew that she would want that bag.
Yes. And I just loved it. I love this story so much. Y'all go get it. And I could just see how much effort and how much love and dedication you put into writing this story. But okay, so let me ask you some more questions. All right, so since this you write more along the lines of like women's fiction with a romantic hint,
Mhm.
what was your first romance book? What romance book popped your cherry?
I started reading romance a very long time ago. I was probably still a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading my mom's books, so it was probably a lot of Nora Roberts and that kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading whatever my mom was buying and left sitting around. When I was buying them for myself, I started reading Laverne Spencer. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if any of your readers know her, but she's an
Long time
old,
ago, 80s,
old white
yes.
lady. Yeah, she retired like 30 years ago. But I read all of Laverne Spencer's books. Like I would just go every day and buy a new book because
Mm-hmm.
they were so good. Then because I grew up in like um, Spokane, Washington, which is like in Washington near the Idaho border. So
Yes.
very white. Spokane is
I
like
used to live in
maybe
Washington
8%
State
black.
for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So near the Idaho border, Spokane's like maybe 8% non-white, and of that, 3-4% is black. You really only see black people at church or the Air Force Base. So
Mm-hmm.
Whitey McWhiteyville, we did not have a black book section. You didn't see black books at, did we even have Walmart? We had Shopko and Albertsons and like
Mm-hmm.
Barnes and Noble and Borders or something. Yeah.
Right.
We didn't see black books. I never read a Terry McMillan until I was in college. I never saw EJD until I was out of college. I never read Elin Harris and I think it's Carla Fred. I never read any of those books. So by the time I discovered them, I was a fully grown adult. But I want to say Terry McMillan really turned me on to like women's fiction with
Mm-hmm.
that romantic twist where it's a full story of a woman and her journey and also her love story. And
Right.
I like to make the love story the center because I just really believe in love. I'm a romantic at heart. I don't seem like it, but I'm a romantic at heart,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see people, black women specifically, be loved, feel loved out loud, gregariously, openly, passionately, can't live without you kind of love.
Right.
I want to read that. I want to write that. I want every representation of that. And I think the greatest compliment is when people tell me that my writing reminds them of Terry McMillan,
Mm-hmm.
because that's kind of really where it started when I started reading black women writers who were writing women's fiction and romance and thinking, wow, this can be done
Mm-hmm.
and I can do it.
Well,
So,
I think you've done a beautiful job with this because the love story between Esme and Trey evolved so naturally. It's almost like a friends to not friends to lovers, but enemies to lovers a little bit.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, and then they have this, and then they slowly um start a friendship, respecting each other, and then it naturally evolves into a beautiful relationship. And that's what I love that you did in this story. And I just enjoyed it so much. Like I was saying, everybody who just joined us, welcome. And I have already told you that this is one of my favorite books of the year so far. Well, the year's almost over. I'm not reading too many more books this year. But the thing will be tomorrow with Jen reads romance, and this is like my one of my top reads of the year. So, okay, so how did you? So you told us a little bit about how you got started with the fan fiction and writing romance, but what was it where you was like, okay, I'm doing this. This is what I am. I am supposed to be doing, what I'm using my gift for. To how did you get really started writing it?
Well, I mean, I had the idea for Brunch at Ruby's and started writing it in 2011. And it took me 4 years to write that book because I was not ready to write it
Mm-hmm.
when I started writing it. And I, like, sometime way back when I found like the first iteration and it was just not good. It wasn't good at all. But I think, it was the encouragement of my brunch group because I was telling them about the story and they were like, you should write it. You
Mm-hmm.
should write it. And then every month I would come to brunch and they would be like, so tell us about the book. And we would talk characters and storylines and what if this and how about that. And honestly, to this day, I still bounce story ideas back and forth with them. They helped me finish The Guy Next Door because I
Mm-hmm.
was about to put that book back in back in the storage bin, and I
Right.
just happened to mention that I was stuck on it, and we kind of chopped it up and hammered it out. And what if? How about? And I was like, you know what? I could do that. I could do that. Okay. So then I went home, tore it apart, put it back together, and The Guy Next Door came out. So it's really the encouragement from them. My mom helps me a lot. We had a lot of great conversations about Brunch at Ruby's and the follow-up dinner at Sam's, and then just really like reading through my work and wanting it out there. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted other people to read it. Like, I write for me. Nothing
Right.
leaves my computer until I'm in love with it. You will
Mm-hmm.
never see anything that I don't like out there. But I publish to be read.
Mm-hmm.
I publish my work so people can buy it, people can read it, people can love it, people can wreck it. People can fall in love with it and see themselves in the text, in that work.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it was just self-propelled. I just felt like even if only me and my mama read this book,
Right.
it's gonna get published.
Right.
So
But as much as I can, I'm gonna tell everybody to read you. So we're gonna try to get, like, I'm like, we need people, everybody, like right now, I feel like, you know, what can I do to help DL with marketing at this point? Because we gonna get it together. And
I word
everybody's
of
gonna
mouth
read
sells
this book.
books, I
It's gonna
tell
be a
you.
prerequisite to be my friend. You gotta read The Never List and Brunch at Ruby. So okay, so what do you have on deck next, DL?
A good question. I have so many like I said, I start writing and then I hit a wall and I put away, and I have so many starts in my drafts folder. I don't really know what's next. I'm really hoping Friday is my last day of work for the year, and I'm really hoping I can just relax, maybe
Mm-hmm.
pound something out before the end of the year, a little cute little short. I do like to end the year on a happy note with a sappy little seasonal short. A couple of years ago, I did the Kwanzaa brunch, which is really fun. But I didn't release a short last year because I had my wisdom teeth out and I was trying to write while I was on hydrocodone, and it just wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So I didn't release last year, and I felt terrible about not releasing a short. So I'm hoping I can get something out. If not, I honestly, I have not even planned 2022. I don't know what's coming. I know I will have books out. I know I have another Powder Lake book in me. I started writing that. I just kind of hit a wall. And so I've
Well,
got
whatever you
something.
have, we are ready for it. That's it.
Yeah,
Then please share it with us everywhere so we can help support you in any way we can. So
I so appreciate that.
so you say you start and then you put it away. So what is your writing process like? What time of day are you writing? And what are you a pantser or a plotter?
I I'm a pantser that wishes I could plot. Um, I typically if I'm writing, I have a day job. So
Mhm,
I have to reserve all of my energy and strength for my day job because it's kind of I don't have the option to fail there. It's just me. So
mhm,
I work to, Monday through Friday. I very rarely write during the week. I might edit during the week. I
mhm,
very rarely write during the week, but like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if I'm going to write, I'm typically writing on those days until I'm at a point where I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Then I
mhm.
write every chance I can get until I'm done. When I'm like 4 chapters to the end, then
Right.
I'm like, okay, let's get in that dock and get it done, because then
Yeah.
I'm ready for it to be over, and then it can go to my betas and I can relax.
Mhm.
I like to write in the morning. By the time evening rolls around, I'm done. I
Yeah.
am done. So if I write, I might write Thursday night, like right after work till about 7 or 8, and then I'm beat. Friday night, and then if I write on a Saturday, I will get up early and write, and on Sunday and get up early and write till about 2 o'clock. And then I'm not a night writer. I can't.
Mhm.
I don't brain capacity. Don't have it for the end of
Right.
day writing. And I'm a morning person. I think I like to get up early, and kind of get the words out. Like I said, until I see that I'm almost at the end, and then I'll write for 12 hours if I need to. When I wrote Beach Thing, I went to Starbucks. I said, I got 2 chapters left. I went to Starbucks, grabbed me a table at the patio, and I
Right.
said, I am not leaving this restaurant until I finish this book. And I
Right.
was there until 8 o'clock that night.
Oh
But
wow.
I finished that book.
Hey,
So
this
like
is
once I see the end, I can't stop until I'm done. But until then, it's just plod and
mhm.
plod and plod and plod, because I'll write, get like, a rough draft. And then when I open that document back up and I've had a chance to think about it, read it over, I can't move on unless it's right. So if I
Right.
have to go back and fix something, I need to smooth it, smooth it, smooth it. And like I have my rough draft, and then I go immediately back at the beginning, add fluff, delete, smooth it out, smooth it out, smooth it out. And I might go over it and over and over it 4, 5, 6, 12 times.
Mhm.
I never count because it's done when it's done and not a minute sooner. So I never set a deadline until I know I'm just moving commas and acting silly about the words.
Yeah.
Or when KWM says, okay, don't change anything else.
Yeah. Leave
You're
it alone.
done.
Right.
Give it to me.
I love it. So, okay. So, tell us, what was the challenge in writing these characters, Trey and Esme?
Well, the challenge with Trey and Esme is I write Black romance, which means readers want sex. They want some loving. They want some spice. And Esme is a
Absolutely.
virgin. Esme is a virgin, and Trey doesn't know that. And
Mhm.
so I have to write this romance in which these characters become close enough and intimate enough for Esme to even think about going there with her
Mhm. You know, I love
without.
a virgin DL.
I did not know that. And you know
I
what? A lot of
look.
people don't.
I write virgins too, but they give it up really quick.
Yeah. A lot of people don't, and I see a lot of I'm so tired of the virgin trope, and I'm sure you are, and this is why I didn't know if I was going to even publish this book, because I didn't want to hear the complaints and criticisms about the book. But I also knew that if I finished this book, it was hard enough to write that it was going to come out, because
But
y'all going to get this book.
it was appropriate for her to be a virgin, though. All of the things that she had never done. Of
Right.
course,
Yeah.
it's like it makes perfect sense for
Yeah.
Esme, who has never ridden a roller coaster, played an extreme sport, traveled by plane.
Why would she have had, yeah,
Why would she have had
why would
sex?
she? Yeah. So I did want it to make sense, like not to make her a pitiful, pathetic person, and also not to center the story around her virginity, or
Right.
to center the story around this gift that she is presenting to this male. Please, sir, would you please relieve me of this affliction?
Burden.
She did not.
This
Right.
tiresome virginity.
She didn't mind the situation, but she also knew she's coming up on this big, milestone birthday. I got a list of things that I want to knock off. Might as well toss this on the list. Also, I wouldn't mind falling in love, whatever. If you find the time, okay.
Right.
So the challenge with this book, and the fun part for me, was writing intimacy in the story and stopping at a good place where the reader feels like, oh, okay, it's getting good, it's getting
Yes.
spicy. I know what's coming. It's not there yet. It's right that it's not there yet. But
Right.
it's gradual moments of intimacy until you, the reader, is like, okay, come on, Esme, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen?
I think you peppered it in there good enough, because a good writer knows when to, drop the line if you're into fishing. Because my husband get fish and stuff for Christmas. So when you drop the line in, and so give them a little bait.
Yes,
to bait
tease and pull it back, and tease and pull it back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought you did a wonderful job with that. I thought it made sense, perfect sense, for her to be the age she was with all of this. And you did the anxiety in such a way that, yes, she had anxiety, but she was still strong, and she was still accomplished in so many other areas that it made sense that she was a beautiful woman. It wasn't something that she was pitied for, and the reader, it didn't come off as a reader that I pitied her for that. It just seemed like when it's right, it'll be right for her.
Yeah.
And she needed that. And of course, why not with Trey? He's gorgeous.
Yes. She needed it to be right. But she also wasn't really looking for Prince Charming. She wasn't looking for forever. She wasn't looking for happily ever after. Like she told O'Neill, I technically I don't need a man. And I'm not looking to date him, and I'm not looking to not date him. I don't need a cut buddy either. So she definitely needed it to be right, and she was waiting for the right moment.
Okay, you talked about the importance of found family with lunch with brunch at Ruby's.
Brunch at Ruby's.
Let's talk a little bit about the family dynamics in this book, because O'Neill is her cousin, correct? And then Trey's relationship with his family, his dad, Saul, his mom, and his sister. Why did you feel like you show Black family in a realistic and important way? I felt like in this story, and so why is that important to you in this story and in your writing?
I think both Trey and Esme have really good, strong family structure. It's not perfect, but it's strong and it's positive, and it's I didn't want to write. I typically don't write a lot of like family drama. My earbuds are about to die, so hopefully I don't drop. I don't want to write family drama for the sake of making the story more dramatic, and for adding a flair and adding conflict. sometimes a person is not ideal because of something inside of them and not because their dad yelled at them when they were 7. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of didn't in this book want that kind of drama. I think Trey's conflict is that he doesn't want to disappoint his father.
Right.
And that, but he also wants to do what he wants to do. And so these two worlds are colliding, and also his dad is sick. And so this is a job that he has to do. This is a job I don't like this job, but this is the job that I have to do
Mm-hmm.
to get to the job that I want to do. And so that was, you know, Trey's family dynamic is, we put on for each other and we support each other, and you got to do what you got to do, and I'm counting on you to do that. And I think Esme just has a really loving, supportive family with her twin sisters,
Mm-hmm.
with O'Neill. They laugh with her, they joke with her about, this list and all the things she's never done and her shortcomings, but they love the heck out of that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows it. There's never a day that goes by that Esme doesn't know that Jewel, Jada, and O'Neill just love that girl. So I love like a positive, supportive family. I just didn't want to pin this book on a bunch of like family
Dysfunction. Right.
drama.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just it's I have written it. Beach thing. Wade's dad just got out of prison, and there's a lot of stuff going on in that book, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to write that for this book. Yeah.
Right. And like I said, I love the family dynamic, especially when you come from a family that's very supportive and loving, but still pushes you to your highest potential and has expectations of, excellence or whatever. Then because we all are type A over in there in my crowd. We're like,
Very type
so
A here.
yeah, so we very high an achiever. So I really get that, and I love that you showed that. I just love how, being in Atlanta, Chocolate City, very dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
powerful Black people. Like, you hit that on the head. And then, like, I love, like, in
Yes.
the beginning of the book, I forgot where it was, where Trey was like, I done went from wearing polos and the
Mm-hmm.
little cargo pants or whatever, and still
To
talk, but
suits and
to now I'm in my suits
uncomfortable
and stuff, and I done
shoes
worked
and
on my body. He was like,
yeah.
and she
Yeah.
noticed. I
She
love that
knew.
part. When
She
you,
didn't want to notice,
yeah,
but
but
she
she's like,
noticed.
I see you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're
Mm-hmm.
looking good, sir.
Yes. See, I love that about Trey because he was confident in himself,
Mm-hmm.
but not really cocky and not arrogant about it. I have written an arrogant hero. I love Preston to death, but he's
Mm-hmm.
arrogant and he's cocky. Trey wasn't that. He was confident in himself. Like, I know what I look like, and I know she noticed.
Yeah, and
So
he took care of him, and he
game
took
on.
pride in that he took care of himself. And okay, so what is the major conflict in the story?
Major conflict in this story is, I think the major conflict actually is Trey's
Mm-hmm.
conflict, in that he has his father is ill, and he's taken over as CEO, and he doesn't want to take the company from his father, but his dad's kind of talking about successor, take over the company because I might not be coming back. Trey has kind of a whole other dream for himself, um, but he's kind of stuck in this role where he's at. His dad gave him
Right.
one job, and he's kind of sucking at it. And so he's kind of in this thing where I need you, Esme, to help me. So if you help me, I'll help you.
Right.
And that's how they come into the agreement for Trey to help Esme cross the items off her list. And I don't think Esme's list is much of a conflict as as a through line to keep the story going, to
Mm-hmm.
keep them going out on dates and getting to know each other and giving them a reason to see each other outside of work. I think the main conflict is Trey's conflict, and also Esme kind of getting to the point of the story where she wants to tell Trey what's number one on that list, and can he help her satisfy that? Are we going to be able to satisfy everything on the list? Or is he going to be like, nah,
No. Well, he was digging her from the
nah.
beginning. Like she was the one that just put the hand up to him, because he was flirting with her from the very beginning.
He was.
If
Yeah,
guys aren't interested, they let you know immediately. They be like,
they
whatever.
do.
They
They
ghost
do.
you immediately.
They do.
So, not that I've been ghosted ever. Okay.
I have.
I've also been married forever. My anniversary's coming up, y'all.
Oh, happy anniversary.
This Sunday. Um,
Oh.
27 years, DL.
Oh, girl, 27 years.
I got married when I was 5, honey. It was a child.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you, honey. Hey, listen. Okay, so that's why I love love. I'm a romantic like you. I could talk about it all day. Okay, so tell us, what is the best thing about writing romance and being an author?
The best thing is these people in my head can shut up. Um, I guess the best thing for me is like I get lost in the story
Mm-hmm.
and the people become real to me and they become like my friends.
Mm-hmm.
The people that live in my head are people I know really well and I'm comfortable with and I'm familiar with them, and they feel like friends to me. And then when people read my stories, they feel the same. Or they tell me, man, this played like a movie in my head. And I saw the street and the window and I smelled the food and it was so good. And that just fills my heart because writing is hard.
It is.
Writing is really hard. And writing well is doubly hard. Like, you could poop out some stuff and shove it up there and some people will read it, but writing a good book is really hard. And so I feel personally rewarded when someone buys my book and reads it and really enjoys it. um, I just, writing romance to me, it's like a warm blanket. It's
Mm-hmm.
like comfort. And like I read a lot of, like, I love crime dramas and mysteries and thrillers, a little bit of, like medical nonfiction. So when I sit down with a romance book, the promise between me and that author is that I'm going to leave that book smiling.
Right.
When that book is over, I'm smiling and I feel soft and fuzzy and I'm like, oh, that was so good. He was so cute in this part. And then when
Right.
she said, and then he did, oh, I love that. Where's the next book? I
Yeah.
like that feeling of like, I love what I just read. And I know when I get a romance, I'm going to love what I'm about to read. And the comfort of that, I think is unmatched. Like sometimes I'll pick up a thriller because I want something with teeth in it. I need something with a bite. But I might go through 5 different mysteries and thrillers and just not really see anything that's
Mm-hmm.
doesn't scratch the itch. But I almost always know, especially with my auto buys, that I'm gonna get a good story. And it's like it lessens the anxiety about reading.
Mm-hmm.
I can relax. I can relax.
Yeah, and then when you say that, when you were saying that, oh, wasn't it cute when he did this and this happened? That's exactly what I felt reading this book. I was like, oh my God, even in the heated parts, like with the car, when the car situation, I was like, and he was always
Did
just,
you laugh at that scene? Because I thought that scene was hilarious.
yes. I was like, but I just felt like, it was so they were like that cute couple, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
very cute.
I just felt, as I was reading this story, I was like, the whole time I was just like, it was, because y'all, DL has like not necessarily a snark, but a way with words where thing. It's just I
It's a little
was
snark.
laughing at points with this. You know how y'all be like, you know how this little thing is going around with people writing these romantic comedies and don't know none of them be funny. I was like,
Yeah, I was
not a
nervous to
romantic
call this a
comedy,
romantic
but
comedy because is it funny? It's funny to me. I don't know. Is it not funny?
I read. Look. I have read some romantic comedies, and when none of them funny this year. I only read one fun, and it in this book that I read that was actually funny is not out till next year.
Oh,
So
right. So can't even really wreck it yet.
it's an arc I read from LaQuette, and that was the only funny because and it's like, listen, I get white humor because I grew up. I went out to school
Yes.
to college with
Yep.
white folks, so I get their
I went
humor.
to a PWI. Yep.
I get their humor. You know, I watch Seinfeld. I get the, but one none of them
Right.
funny, and not
Not
even
funny.
any of the people of color romantic comedies I've read have
Yeah.
been funny. But
Yeah.
DL was like, I was
Yeah.
like, this could be a romantic comedy because just O'Neill himself and her sisters and like you know the little ribbon and stuff. I was like, it's funny, and I was like, but it was not
Yeah.
labeled a romantic comedy, but it was still, I did have a little chuckle. Yeah, her sexy banter is
Yeah.
hilarious. Yes, it is. And I was like, oh my God, this writing is so
I
good.
call it a black rom-com, but I'm always nervous to call it a rom-com because I don't know if it's funny. Like
It
a
was
lot of
fun.
times if
Look,
you say a book
compared to
is
what's
funny,
out
they
there, it
want to
was funny as
see,
hell.
yeah, they want to see characters like falling all over themselves and oops, I tripped over things, and like I don't do slapstick. I
No,
do
no.
very dry wit
And there
and
are writers who
sarcastic
write
humor.
that type of thing, and it's funny. Like Pippa Grant, like she writes the slapstick kind of comedy. It's very sexy though, and she is trying to be funny, but some of this other stuff out here ain't funny at all. So,
Yeah,
it
it's
ain't
hard. It's rough. It's
right.
rough in those rom-com streets.
And I like when the thing is she writes smart humor exactly. The thing about it was sometimes the when people write romantic comedies is at the expense of the heroine. That is
Yeah.
not what happened here. And I chuckled a lot reading this book. And so I'm glad you said that. But I didn't want to label it a rom com because you hadn't said at any point
Yeah,
that
I call it a rom-com.
you okay, so we'll call it a
Yeah.
rom com too. Okay. So but that's it was funny. So I'm glad I wasn't just being crazy laughing by myself.
I know. I do try to be a little bit of funny in my books because, you know, I think I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
But my books aren't
You are
ever altogether
hilarious.
totally serious. So I think I'm hilarious. I do try to be a little bit funny, but this book I wanted specifically to be funny and also to kind of take the weight off of this woman trying to lose her virginity before she turns 40. It's like it's
Hmm.
already kind of a slapstick
Hmm.
plot line, and so but I didn't want it to be like, whoops, so silly, I
Right.
accidentally fell on him. No, that's not funny to me. I mean,
So
that's
this is
just
your
that's just not
version of
funny.
the book, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, the movie, The 40-Year-Old, but
Yeah,
not,
you know, I never saw that movie, but that's the idea.
yeah. So, but your version of that. Okay,
Yeah.
so you were speaking about your autobi authors. Who is your favorite author right now?
Why you asking me that question?
You
Right
know these
now,
questions, DL. You said your
um,
autobi. You got some one-click autobi authors.
I mean, it wouldn't be alive. I wouldn't be like speaking and alive if I didn't mention Tasha L. Harrison because I mention her 9 times a day.
Hmm.
Absolutely love her writing, consummate, exquisite.
Oh
Um,
yes, yes, yes.
Nia Forster, I will buy a Nia Forster book before she has even finished writing it. I don't care what it's about, give it to me. Um, Jacinta Howard, Sharon C. Cooper writes some really awesome romantic suspense. So does Delaney Diamond.
I love everybody you mentioned. I love. I just call
Girl,
up their books. Yes.
fire,
Yeah.
fire. Shelley
Ellis.
Ellis.
Yes.
I'm like, what is that woman's name? I talk to her every day. Why can't I remember her
Shelley
name?
Ellis. Yes.
Shelley is my girl. I mean, it's just so many.
Hmm.
My Kindle is overflowing, but like there's a ton of people like I can't even their names don't come to mind, but like, you know, I'm not suffering for books
Yeah.
to read.
Okay, so what was the last book you read and loved then? What was the last book you read that you just blew your mind? The last romance book that blew your mind?
I want to say the last book that really gave me a hangover was Real by Kennedy Ryan.
Yes, she's on the list tomorrow
Listen,
too. Yes.
listen, that book, I did, I didn't do, I didn't do a single thing until I finished that book. And I think it was either the week before or the week after I had read 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, and that
Mhm.
also absolute book hangover. Both of those books, those came out in June,
Yeah.
and I talk about them still nonstop.
Kennedy is both of those books I've read as well. And I will say, yeah, both of those books are on my favorite list tomorrow. I'm like, hopefully I won't dominate the whole conversation. But
Yeah,
I
exquisite.
did
Yeah,
Kennedy's writing is exquisite.
yeah,
I just be
really,
like,
really good,
what
good
are you
writing. I
even
just,
doing?
right? Like I read her, I'm like, well, I'm done.
And you
I
know what?
ain't never gonna write this good.
I be like, you know what I have told myself, like after I read Queen Move, I was like, you know what, God gave her that. So we just gonna
It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
that's what I
It
said, God
don't
just gave
make
her
no
that.
sense.
And we just
Yeah,
gonna let her have it. Just let her have what God gave
yes.
her, Kenya.
I also want to say recently I've been reading Delaney's,
The
what
African
is the name of that
Princess thing.
series? But that is good. But Heart Taker, Heart Stealer, and until now, her Qdoba um, security series. Why can't I can't remember the name of it, but that series is also really good. So I think I recently read Heart Taker, Heart Stealer, one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and it was excellent. Really, I mean, I had to text Delaney about that book. It was really good. And I recently
Oh, y'all
read,
on text terms? Give her my number.
oh yes, oh yes, yes.
I love
That's
her.
my favorite part. That is
I
my
gotta
favorite
come.
part of being an
Listen,
author.
I need to come to Atlanta and hang out with y'all. All the cool people out there. I mean, I need to come over there. I'm not moving there because I'm scared of it. I'm scared. It's too big for me. You know, I'm a second
Oh,
city person. I'm a Birmingham person. I am not a Atlanta person. But I definitely want to come and hang with y'all. If y'all do something like
yeah.
get together, invite me.
If we do another wine with writers here, we'll definitely let you know.
So I definitely want to come and hang out with all the cool Atlanta writers. Okay. So we're getting close to the end. So um in your it, fill in the blanks. I wish there were more books about what?
More books about women in male dominated fields.
Mm.
I love like a female construction supervisor or like a woman sheriff. Oh, just eat it up. Eat
Mhm.
it up. Like a woman like just holding her own in a male dominated field. I love that.
Yeah, are you going to write something like that with the
I wanna,
uh,
I wanna write a female truck driver. I have an idea about a sisters trilogy, and one of the sisters is a truck driver.
mhm.
Just it hasn't really gelled for me, but that's an idea that I'm not really a series writer, but that was my idea to kind of throw myself into a series. So that's an idea that I have. Yeah.
I love that idea. I haven't ever read a woman trucker. Now
Right?
that I think about it,
It
no.
would be so different.
It would be so different. And then her little nemesis is that'll be a excellent, enemies to lovers type of dynamic book, which you would do, and you could put the humor in there, and I would just gobble that up. So go ahead. So now you didn't have that plan for 2022. So you can do that, DL, and then we will gobble that up just like we gobbled up the Never list. Okay, so let me ask you, tell everybody, because this is the last question, and I just appreciate you so much coming to talk to us about the Never List. Let me show y'all the picture again.
Oh, I have it right here.
And
Here
there's
she
my
is.
picture. DL has her copy. And
I just love this cover. I am in love with this cover.
I love this cover. I think it was the cover that actually just like pinged me, even though I know like you after you're on my auto buy list. I knew I was when I was having a hard time writing this year, so I was not really paying attention enough, but when I
Same.
saw it, I immediately got it. And then
Yeah, I think the cover grabs a lot of people.
mhm.
It understood the assignment. It did the
Yes.
job.
Very good. So, okay, so tell us what events you have coming up, if any, pandemic, y'all, and where we can find you on the interwebs if everybody wants to follow you.
I don't currently have any events planned. I decided a few years ago if it's not in Atlanta, I'm not going.
Uh-huh.
Because I can't afford to, ship my books here and there and get myself to places to sell 3 books.
Yeah.
So if it's not in Atlanta, I don't go. I don't so far have anything planned for 2022. Never know. If something pops up, like I know the kickback is every year in Atlanta. I didn't go this year because Delta was raging,
Right.
but maybe I'll do the kickback next summer. But you can find me everywhere at author DL White on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I'm on TikTok. I don't post a lot over there because they be anti-Black and stuff. But I am on TikTok. I'm trying to start posting more over there because I do see a lot of Black authors there.
There are a
Would
lot of
love to
Black
join and
authors,
support.
Black romance, Black who write
Yeah,
African
a lot of
American
us there.
and African American. So
Yeah. Black on Black love.
Black on Black
So
love.
I'm trying to get back into TikTok. I'm not excited about it, but
Listen, you can post anything. I saw somebody just posted them flipping pages, and I copied that, and I just follow do what other people do.
something.
I
Yeah.
have this whole thing with The Rock on there. Go check it out. I just did it before now. I got
I'll look at it.
dang
I'll check it out.
which honestly, I would leave this family for him.
I mean,
I
he's
can
fine
see
and
him on the weekend, the
everything.
kids, and he could pay for all their therapy. So
I'm not gonna tell you how many times I've watched San Andreas.
he is just, and he's such a nice
I
guy.
will
And
not say
I
it.
didn't know he had a farm in Virginia until after I left DL. I was hurt.
What you do that for? Yeah.
I'm trying to get
You can also
Hawaii.
find me on my website at booksbydlwhite.com. You can get me on my website, and that'll take you
she's very prolific
anywhere.
on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
That's where I decompress. So.
Yeah. But thank you so much for writing this beautiful gem of a book. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you so much for having me.
And
I want to acknowledge KWM in the comments
mm-hmm.
because she won't leave me alone about these sequels that she wants me to write. It's not happening, but she's gonna keep bothering me.
We'll team up, KWM. We'll team up because now I want the Lady Trucker book. So I'm excited for that. I'm gonna be like sending you little memes of lady truckers and stuff, so we can get that book going.
You can make your demands all you want, but if the people don't talk to me, it won't happen. I'm just saying, it's not happening right now.
And she has to wait for the voices, so we'll channel the Lady Trucker to come. But thank you so much, DL. Follow her everywhere, you guys, at author DL White. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, and go buy her books. Support her 100%. I'm putting the KGB seal of approval. I don't let y'all down when I recommend somebody. I don't recommend flaky people or mediocre writers. We don't have them in the KGB. We only have the great ones.
Thank you so much. I so really appreciate being on with you. Appreciate all the compliments and the accolades. Like it fills my soul like you don't even know. So
Well, you
I
deserve
appreciate
them.
it.
You deserve them. Thank you for coming.
Thank
And
you.
we wish you every success, DL.
Thank you so much, and back at you, and happy anniversary.
Thank you. Okay, y'all. See y'all later.
All right.